Hi, welcome to this special edition of Tarot Talks. Welcome to this special edition of Tarot Talks. You're going to start seeing more of these on this channel because they're like a companion to the podcast I'm doing. The podcast is called The Witching Half Hour or So. It's right there. Have a click on through to that. And in it, I'm going to be doing tarot segments where I break down one card and really talk in depth. So this is all about giving you a visual to go along with that audio. In this first episode of my podcast, I talked about the Fool card, and I used 3 different decks. The ones I chose were the Tarot de Marseille, which is the deck I learned on, the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which most people are very familiar with, and then I've picked out of my little collection, the Legacy of the Divine Tarot, and that's by Ciro Manchetti. I really love that deck. So I looked at the artwork in the Fool card, starting with the older deck, the Tarot de Marseille. So here is a picture of that. So that's the Fool card of the Tarot de Marseille. And I talk all about this little guy. So in some things, he's called a lynx, and he looks really lynxy here. But when we get into the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, he is turned into a little dog. Now, what I found really interesting and that I go into in the podcast is how he's really looking away and how the wilds look much more dangerous in this card than in our more modern card. So now, babies, I don't have a Rider deck. I've never read from it. So yeah, I don't have one. The closest thing I have in my collection is this cute little mini deck. Isn't it cute? So this is the closest thing I have to a Rider-Waite deck. Oh, my ring light is just wreaking havoc on this. It's so late at night when I'm doing this, loves. Yeah, I can't even see it. Maybe, oh, there. Can you see this tiny little card? Yeah, isn't it cute? But basically, the Waite-Smith deck shows the Fool much more on an adventure. I'm going to put this card down. I'm just going to use a green screen. So the Waite-Smith deck shows the Fool heading out on this beautiful adventure, right? He's gone out. He's got his little pup with him. He's got a bunch of stuff going on. And it looks a lot more hopeful, doesn't it? So that's that one. Now, this is the one that most of our cards are, most of our decks, I should say, are based on. A lot of contemporary decks are based on the Waite-Smith deck. So I'm going to show you the Fool from my favorite deck, my current favorite deck. I have had this deck for about 13 years, I'd say. I've been reading from it. And you'll see when I hold it up, it is quite worn on the edges. This deck really stands up to time. So Ciro Manchetti penned this, and he is one of my favorite artists. I will put links. There's links in my podcast in the show notes, but I'll also put links on here to give credit to him. So he has the Fool in this amazing jester garb. It's so Cirque du Soleil, and you can't quite pick the details up here, but these are the cards. So this is like the Magician and the High Priestess and the Empress and the Emperor and the Hierophant cards from his own deck splayed out around him, coming out of this like beautiful Pandora's box over here. And we have the little animal, and he's like floating above the world. I love this card. I think that this card is just beautiful. So 3 different cards, 3 different Fools, and the meaning is still the same, right? It's calling on you to go forth, to answer the call, to just face things with that. I don't want to say naive because that word's got so much connotation to it, but just with that unbridled enthusiasm of youth, and to face that with everything. And especially in I really feel like there's trickster energy in these two because you've got the court jester, really looks like a court jester, and that is full energy, right? Being able to point folly and expose folly of others. And definitely in the Legacy of the Divine Tarot, we've got some tricksterness happening there as the Fool displays all the archetypes that we're going to be working with as we go through the high arcana. So this is my little compendium, my little companion to, and I hope to see you guys here a lot. Please subscribe, click the link, subscribe, go over to the podcast and subscribe to that too, because I'm going to be dropping all kinds of great esoteric knowledge all over the place for you. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye, lovies.